right.
We're about to talk about MrBeast because he is being criticized again for running his business. He recently bought an entire neighborhood in Greenville, North Carolina for his staff members to live in. Thoughts on this?
My favorite part is that there's like a family holding out that won't sell. And there's just like one family still living in the middle of this area.
I'm pretty sure he got the whole thing.
No, there's a holdout. There's a family holding out because their kids are in school. Their kids are in school. He's gonna like hire the kids and hire the parents so that he can buy the house.
He'll just hire them.
Yeah.
And then people said, what a nice man. Surely a CEO buying homes and creating neighborhoods for their employees' families has no historical relevance or background at all.
Is that a reference to something?
Yeah, there was.
Is it a reference to Disney?
No, there were companies that used to build entire, like they would build like a whole neighborhood, and then they would build
company
stores.
towns.
Wasn't that big when we were building after rebuilding after World War II?
There's also industry towns, that are now abandoned because of the steel industry being hollowed out.
China did that, where whole cities were built by corporations, companies that went.
Well, that's different. China did it because they wanted to build the town to create activity. What we're talking about is a business that is already flourishing, has already created economic activity, building a town so that way you can build a factory or whatever. And there are people that, historically, there have been issues with basically the sovereignty of the town, like who's in charge. The police force gets propped up by the town, and
now they're worried about that with Disney
and what to do and stuff.
And Reedy Creek, and Disney doesn't technically own Reedy Creek, but everyone knows where their bread is buttered.
Yeah, and so with Disney, it was a special situation, and I would guess that the people that are critical of this town that MrBeast is making...
It's not even a town, it's a block. It's a house. It's houses on a block.
Okay, so...
But he's got like 250 employees, so it's got to be pretty huge.
I don't know why
he's not saying all the employees
making
live
a big deal about
Yeah.
it. People are just making a big stink because they want to make a big stink. It's not a big deal. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing.
Here was his defense. He tweeted, "Only I could get canceled for giving people a place to live with no strings attached. All these company towns tweets make no sense. I was just helping some people."
I mean, the language there is a little vague. He's helping people, but they're his employees.
Well, if he's buying them houses, if that's what he's done,
if he owns the houses, but they're just living.
Well, he just said giving them houses, no strings attached. Yeah. So that leads
giving them a place to live, no strings attached.
Not the same thing as like signing a house over to them.
It's obvious that when you're living in a house that you don't own, there's a string attached.
It depends. Yeah, I mean, so it depends on what is actually going on. If he owns the buildings and he's like, okay, you guys can live in these houses, that's one thing. If he bought the houses and gave them to his employees, that's different. Either way, the people outside that are making a stink about it can go and
kick rocks.
Yeah, they can make us think about other things. Like this is completely and totally a non-issue and none of their business.
I think people are just desperate to characterize MrBeast as the Antichrist, literally.
Yeah, because
no matter what he does, whether it's buying some houses for his employees,
he's making Hassan look bad.
Helping deaf people get hearing aids, or he's helping blind people restore their vision, or what have you. It doesn't matter what he does. Because he is an autistic Chad, people will criticize.
He's making BreadTube look bad because the people that are criticizing him, they're not like normal people. They're all people with a political bent. And MrBeast makes a lot of money. They kind of don't like people that make a lot of money, anyways. He doesn't get political.
Unless you're Hassan Piker.
He doesn't get political the way that Hassan and people in BreadTube do. And because he tries not to do that, and he doesn't join their team, they're going to criticize him. If he joined their team and did these things, they'd be fine.
He's also a white cis straight male.
That's true. And like I said, this does make Hassan and the other BreadTubers that make a boatload of money, makes them look bad. Why are you just sitting on your butt doing nothing,
Hassan himself has gotten hate from other people in so-called BreadTube for living in a $1 million mansion.
Hassan deserves it because he's not a good person, but that's neither here nor there.
I mean, that's true.
I mean, in a lot of ways, this is like, it's to make productivity better for work, right? If the idea is that that they're in the same place, therefore, like getting to work is easier, collaborating is easier. It's also funny because it makes me think of like, look, we're long past the age now where it used to be a thing where, like, in my dad's generation, you loved your job and you identified heavily with your employer, right? You were proud to work for that company, even though a lot of people would argue like you weren't even really given a whole lot to be, to inspire that level of pride in where and what you did, right? So for something like this, if it's going to inspire loyalty amongst employees and things like that, like you can frame it as bad and it could certainly be taken advantage of if need be, but there's no evidence that that's what's happening here.
Well, I like that he's bringing feudalism back in modern society. That's pretty dope. I'm looking at some of the quote tweets right now. One person named Rose the Chaos Pansexual.
Totally going to get a responsible take.
Prepare yourselves. Said, no, I don't care if he's done philanthropy. Company towns are bad, and you don't want your living situation directly under the control of your boss. It doesn't matter who it is. Thoughts on that?
So then you take the money that he's paying you, that you're not paying for your home that you live in, and you buy another home, and you have that other home
to go to
that you can go to. Yep. And if you get fired, you have that home that you could sell. Because, or actually what you do is, this is really going to piss the left off, right? You buy another home and you rent it out.
Yeah.
And then you be a landlord. So you make money,
I
own
heard
the property.
Left loves landlords.
They love
landlords.
So I love landlords. Name 10 landlords.
I love landlords.
He's so great. But that's what you should do. You should if you are working for MrBeast, you live there and have that taken care of. You use the money that you're getting paid to buy another house and you rent that out, and then you reinvest that money and you buy another house and you keep doing that and you make yourself rich.
I see an interesting take here from someone named QAnon Latifa. Here it is. Independently wealthy, messianic figure, Christ-like leader, charismatic, reclusive, stockpiling guns, converting to full auto, multiple wives, possible abuse of children. A Waco happens every 30 years. The ATF will be raiding MrBeast's armed fortress compound soon.
I don't think anybody looks at MrBeast and thinks he's like a haven for guns.
Well, I don't think, since he's so polarizing, he's even charismatic enough to be the Antichrist.
We love landlords.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, name 10 landlords. You love landlords so much. Name 10 of their.
Me? I'm one. So.
You're a landlord? There you go. Like my favorite was somebody says, I can't cheer on gentrification. I was like, he bought the houses above market value.
How do you know that?
It's also not gentrification if it's not in the project. Yeah, like it's not in the ghetto.
Yeah, right. Is he in?
It's a wealthy suburban neighborhood. What? Also, they voluntarily agreed to sell their homes.
He bought the homes above market because they were off market at the time.
That's how you know they're all idiot leftists.
Another one who's at Abolish ICE, fat ecologist. This has got to be fake.
No, that's real. That's totally
I can't
real.
believe MrBeast is reinventing company towns. Next, he's going to have a MrBeast supermarket for his MrBeast neighborhood where staff can spend their Beast tokens to buy Beast groceries and products at competitive prices compared to leading supermarkets.
Well, hey, man, he's got to sell those Feastables somewhere.
I'm telling you,
they're going to all buy Feastables at the Beast brochure.
This is all just garbage attitude. You live in that town and you take the money that you're getting paid and you buy stuff outside. You invest. You're living there for free, man. Come on.
Here's an interesting take, though.
I do love the idea instead of this becoming like somebody making like an alternative reality one where he becomes MrBeast the slumlord and he doesn't fix anything and the sinks are leaking and the shower head is always spraying the wrong direction. Like I love it. Like the toilet's always backing up and he's like, what do you want me to do about it? What do you want me to do about it? You got this place for free. What do you want me to do about it? Fix it yourself.
Well, that's one of the takes here. They said, if you lose your job, you lose your housing. It's easy AF for your boss to coerce you into damn near anything.
But you have to take responsibility in that case for your own situation then, right? Like you have to take the risk. Like, look, if I lose my job for whatever reason, then I have to start planning an exit.
You know what you don't do? You don't buy like a fleet of golf carts to roam around the whole town for everybody. You just spend your money wisely. If you're living there for free, you just save the money or that you would normally be putting onto your mortgage, and like,
or your rent.
Yeah, well, yeah, on your rent or whatever. Like, save that money and do something smart with it instead of like doing blow with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that's happening at a lot of MrBeast properties.
Hey, you never know.
You never it's funnier.
No,
if it
what
is,
they're
right?
doing is they're spending. They've got every single like toy that you could imagine, right?
Yeah.
Like they've got all drones and like
they all have their groceries delivered with drones.
Exactly. They just spend it irresponsibly is what spend it responsibly is what I'm talking about. If you get the opportunity to live somewhere for free, take advantage of that opportunity and make your life better.
These people's tweets are also kind of that indication, not to make this off in another direction. Like, they really do believe that the only way that anything gets solved is by the government. Like, this is literally like they're talking about is like a CEO buying homes and creating neighborhoods. Like, but if the government was to do this, you'd be like, oh, fantastic, you're giving back.
100%.
Like, they don't like it when people solve problems for themselves.
That is a significant portion of it. They don't like it when private sector or private people are doing things that they believe the government should be doing.
Yep.
So
gentrification.
Ridiculous.
I just and props to the family for holding out.
We work at a company that is often accused of being a compound or cult-like structure.
The size of just given the size of the compound.
Yeah, and there are people who live on the premises, and
there are far more cult people in the cult of hate against this company than there are like the cult mentality around the people that just look what's happening to Tim now in the news, like with the stuff going on.
Haven't been keeping up.
Yeah,
with IRL.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, the left is trying to slander Tim because they don't like that he's effective and popular.
Yeah, like in like the people that hate him, and that's way cultier to me than people who choose to work for him.
100%. It's because like the people that hate him because they're leftists. The people that are giving crap to MrBeast, it's not conservatives. You're not going to see people from Turning Points being like, MrBeast, you're so bad. It's all dirtbag leftists. It's all the socialists. It's all the bread tubers. It's all the mentally ill people that have all their problems listed in their bios because they think that it makes them a more interesting person. It's all the LGBTQIA plus people. It's not anyone normal. It's not anyone that you want to be associated with. Ignore these people.
What would a Turning Point USA compound look like? or a PragerU compound?
Scary.
We could have a PragerU compound with a big like Dennis Prager statue.
In LA,
right
you might need
to
protect yourself from the outside enemies.
It's got like in the courtyard, there's a big Dennis Prager statue.
Yeah.
Dear leader.
But you can guarantee that these people that are complaining, they're not conservatives. And not that I'm super pro-conservative, dude. I'm pretty live and let live kind of guy, but you know that it's not the people that are moderates and liberals and conservatives. It's the crazy progressives. It's the crazy communists. It's the people that are like, oh, how dare you own a business?
Yeah.
How dare you be successful? They're all these ugly on the inside people that hate anyone that does better than them, and they're gonna make it your problem that MrBeast is having a good time living his life and trying to help people.
In the chat, Holyverse says Charlie Kirk City.
You have like gold coins with Charlie Kirk's face on it.
Yeah,
I'm so down.
It's almost close to real life size.
I mean, there will probably
it's a dime.
There will probably be a Daily Wire city someday. DWC will be a thing. And there will be just a huge statue of Jeremy Boring and Ben Shapiro out front.
It'll be Ben Shapiro holding Jeremy Boring like this.
And yes, and there will be in the town. There's like a speaker system, and anytime there's an update.
Elon did this, right? Elon lived.
He's lived
on
at his
campus at his
factories,
and
he's
before.
he hires there's like schools. Like he has like a school at the factory so that his kids can go to school there and whatnot. Now I'm picturing like they've got.
But would he expand that to his employees?
That's a good question.
Maybe the high-ranking ones.
Well, like a lot of those Twitter workers were like sleeping in at Twitter when.
That's such a romanticized tech startup type of thing to do.
We all had to sleep at the office because we were working 21 hours a day. But now I'm just back on Ben Shapiro. Like I want an auditory system, like a speaker system in the city, and Ben Shapiro gives updates, and you have to listen.
Well, it's in his AI voice.
Yeah, and it's going really, really fast, so you have to listen really, really carefully for the updates. It's like there will be a meeting at the mess hall at 5 p.m. today, but it's like 10 times faster than that. Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.